This is my third video talking about volume buttons. And I'm even laughing at myself because I'm like, am I making a video about volume button? Like another video about it? And the answer is yes, I am. And how I look at it is, well, if Apple is going to do something, they can make a big deal out of it. So I can too. So I can talk about volume buttons for 30 minutes, an hour, however long this is going to be. And yes, everything I already said about the iPhone 15 supposedly is the volume buttons are going to become capacitive and the mute switch is going away. And you cannot fully control the volume through software with the current implementation of iOS. The iPhone 15 and iOS 17 might change that. But as I'm looking at my Android device here, it's just interesting to see what type of software implementations are put in various operating systems. So I'm here in the settings, and obviously, as I've mentioned before, silent is different from vibrate because silent means no sound, no vibration, whereas vibrate is no sound but vibration. And as I'm controlling this little guy, it's hard to focus right now. But yeah, it goes, there's sound, and now there's vibrate. Okay, sound and there's vibrate. Okay. Now, if I wanted no vibration, then yeah, I can come over here and I can change it up here. That little guy will change. On older versions of Android, just through the volume buttons, I could come all the way down, and I showed it on my Sony Xperia right here, where let me unlock this, turn the screen brightness up so you can see that, I'm here, going all the way up, and all the way down, we'll take it to vibrate, and then do not disturb. I'm a huge fan of that. I like it. Quick way to turn on do not disturb, no sound, no vibration. And then yes, people calling you might be notified that, hey, this person's phone is on do not disturb. So whatever. And there might be ways to adjust that. In my opinion, that would be the best implementation of doing it, is to say, all right, so many button clicks down or just completely silence the phone, but not put it on do not disturb. Maybe there's a way to change that in software. Now, what I thought was interesting is as I was looking through the settings on this Zenfone 9, that there are different ways to control adjusting the volume. So hopefully at this point I'll take screenshots instead of me trying to show the camera this. But there's, of course, the main screen, which is what I'm on right now. So hopefully I'll take a screenshot of that. Then there's a volume adjustment mode. So volume adjustment modes that provide different ways to control audio volume. So there's the stock Android way, and there's the ASUS optimized way, which I thought was pretty interesting. Okay, and we can control these different ways. So stock Android right there, and that's how that looks. And then there's Android ASUS optimized, which I think it looks looks a little different right there. And then I knew that was there because I'd played around with it. But then there's the volume panel switching options. Okay. So there's tap to switch, which maybe I'll actually put this on the desk and show you the differences. But there's that, and boom, you can change. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I actually like that better. That there's vibrate, then there's ring, and then there's silent. And of course, there's the native menu, which is what, it eventually changed to, that now you tap it, and then the various options pop up. So again, I will hopefully make this a little better for you. So that way you're not just looking at me, you look at my phone. But all that to say, there's a lot that goes into volume. And when you implement stuff through software, you can control so many things. So this hardware switch, which I was talking about earlier, is just a limitation on what the phone can do. There's no reason for it to be there. And here's another setting, which I did not know was here, is Bluetooth volume control. So there's absolute volume, which is one volume control for both phone and connected Bluetooth devices. And there's independent volume, which volumes of Bluetooth devices and phone are controlled independently. So that's pretty cool, right? Because it's all software. There's no reason for things to be different. And I know that one of the issues that I had, which I don't think most people care about, but it was this, and hopefully I'll be able to put. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of that. Boom, screenshot of that. Is this notion of independent volumes that when I was using iPhone, I noticed that the alarm volume was the same as my ringtone volume, which frequently the ringtone was on vibrate, so there was no sound. But so when using an iPhone, one thing I noticed is that my alarm volume was the same as my ringtone volume. So as you can see, like even now, like trying to explain it, I'm like, what? Yeah, I would say, all right, well, I need my ringtone volume to be up, so that way when my alarm goes off, I hear it. Now, I think what ended up happening as time went on, is that the vibration from the alarm was enough to wake me up, regardless of the actual physical volume. But what I like here in Android is that I have independent volume control. So, boom, screenshot of that right there. And what you're seeing is the alarm volume, the volume for the ringtone and notification, and then the volume for media. So me watching video and stuff. And it's all software, so there's no reason for there to not be independent volume controls. And to my knowledge, that's now powered off. iOS doesn't do it the exact same way. And I don't need it to be the exact same way, but independent volume control is cool. Now, I just happened to stretch and look at my Windows laptop over there, and I know that there are independent volume controls for that. So I can have like the master volume, but let's say I'm watching something in a web browser, I can go into the settings and adjust the volume for that one specific thing. And that's the extent that I've done it. But I think any running application that might need access to the speakers or to your headphones or to volume in general, you can independently control, how loud that is. Now, while you're listening to multiple things at once, I don't know, but that doesn't matter, You might have something playing in the background that has volume that, yes, you could just mute, but let's just mute the whole program instead of just maybe muting that one video or whatever. So, yeah, there's no reason for there to not be independent volume control. And with hardware implementation like this mute switch, that really inhibits the amount of control you can give through software. So for me personally, if it's truly going to disappear, I'll be happy to see it go, because I think it's just an outdated piece of hardware that doesn't need to be there. As I'm looking at the bottom of this iPhone 6, there's one piece of hardware right there that I think should still be there. Yeah, boom. Which is, of course, that headphone jack. What's right next to it is that lightning port that needs to go. So yeah, it's like the decisions that Apple makes is, I don't want to say that they're backwards, but lightning port should have been gone a long time ago. Headphone jack should still be there. Mute switch should have been gone a long time ago. Maybe should never have been implemented. I think, and this is what's so interesting is that if I had an iPod Touch, I think there was a switch on that, and I think that was like the hold switch, which was like a carryover from the, I guess, click wheel iPods and stuff, or, not even just click wheel, but, just other iPods. I think there was a hold switch on the iPod Touch, but the iPhone came out before the iPod Touch, I believe. Yeah, I believe it did. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm just going on and on and on and on. And, it's early in the morning and I'm just doing whatever I can to wake up right now. But, yeah, saying goodbye to that mute switch is not something that I'm going to really care too much about. In fact, I'll be happy to see it go, and I really hope that it does. So yeah, this was actually more so about this and the different independent volume controls that are implemented in iOS, even in Windows. I can imagine Linux. Shoot, it wouldn't surprise me if I boot up my Mac and there's independent volume controls in that, but not as much on the iPhone.